Hey, you, come on, sit down. You've been sitting at the grown-ups table. I'm your host, Jesse Pimpinella, and as always, my partner in crime,
John Jacobs.
Thank you so much. Happy Tuesday to everybody. We are back after being on hiatus last week. I had a gig at the Funny Bone Comedy Club right here in Columbus, Ohio. Went really great. We did a huge workshop for a lot of up and new comics. It was fantastic. Today, we're going to be talking with our guest, Darth, which we'll have on in a few moments. But just to kind of give you an idea what today's show is about, we're going to be talking about the Oscars. Now, this upcoming weekend is the Oscars. Now, you want to be an Oscar expert. We're going to be just talking about from the layman's standpoint, because at the end of the day, what does the Oscars have to do with us? And there are some things that have to do with us and some interesting stuff. And before we get into that, let's bring our guest on to the show. He's a longtime guest, longtime friend of the show. Please give it up for Darth, everybody. Give it up for Darth.
There he is. There he is. Darth, it's been forever, man. Welcome back.
It's good to have you here. I tried to put my spotlight back on. The light went out as I kicked it out.
I was surprised we're talking about the Oscars. I thought this was the Madam Web episode.
I mean, I honestly, I feel like we've talked about it twice. Do we need to talk about it more?
We can
because of the Oscars.
But before we get into all that great stuff, let's have a little bit of table talk here, guys. Let's catch up. Okay. So, Darth, how you been? What's been going on with you? What do you want to tell the lovely folks at home about any updates with yourself?
Let's see here. Got a new job.
Yay!
Yeah, that's awesome. What are you doing now?
Good for you, Darth. Good for you.
Customer service for a manufacturing company.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, it beats having to travel a lot, which is what
True.
I do.
They're actually sending me cross country at the end of the month.
Get out. Vegas, California, where are you going?
Pacific Northwest.
Pacific Northwest. Okay, all right. All right.
Yeah,
is it wine country?
I'll be your handler.
I've never been, so I'm super excited.
This is great. That's when I love when jobs can open up new opportunities for people. That's the best part about any sort of opportunity, because then it allows you to experience new experiences and such. It's great. With comedy for me, like I said, I like when I go to places I've never been to before, because the Upper Peninsula, I had to go there one time. That's essentially Canada. We own a piece of Canada. That's all that is.
Yeah, you had to go up to the Mitt, dude?
I had to go up to the UP, man. That's just Canada.
Man.
I don't know how we own it, but we own Canada. Just that little sliver of it, but it is what it is.
I mean, we own Alaska too, so.
Yeah, well, it would make. I felt more like I was in Alaska, even though I'd never been to Alaska, than I did in Michigan. Because when you cross the Mackinac Bridge to get to the Upper Peninsula, yeah, it's game is over. Civilization's gone. I had to work and do a casino called the Island Resort Casino, and next door to it was a what's it called? It was a snowmobile museum. That's not
museum. Where I was thinking that was going.
What'd you think was there?
I was thinking either sex shop, dispensary. I was trying to think of something.
That was next door to the snowmobile museum.
Yeah, right. It's the whole.
It was the homobile. That's
the homobile.
The homobile museum, baby.
I like it.
That's it. Yeah, but that's awesome. Glad to hear the job's going well. Everything's great. Yeah. John, how are you doing? How are you hanging? What's new with you?
Same shit, another day. I don't know. There really hasn't been that much. I mean, I'm a stay-at-home dad right now, so I take care of everything around here and the kid. And we did Taekwondo today. She is almost purple belt. So
all right, there we go.
We are getting there. But one thing is I played a lot of board games the last couple of weeks, and I wanted to take a second to talk about one that I am really excited about. So, honorable mentions, I got to play Nemesis finally. So for those of you that don't know what Nemesis is, it's basically Alien, the board game. It's really awesome. It is a little on the complex side, but once you get it and it clicks, it's super fun because it's co-op, but you're also by yourself as well, so you can fuck other people over to try to win and make sure they don't win. Really fun, super fun.
Also, I just Googled it just now, so this is pretty cool. All right.
Yeah. So there's a second one.
Game.
Oh, I'm sorry, Darth. Go ahead.
I was just saying it's a pretty fun game.
Yeah, it really is, and it's building into a whole like universe. So they have Nemesis, which takes place on the ship. And then I don't want to give away some of it in case people want to explore the game because it is super cool. But there is a sequel to Nemesis called Lockdown that takes place on a Martian facility sometime after things that happen in Nemesis. So if you think alien movies, right? So like it kind of follows along. And then there's a third one that's I believe it's in the kickstarting, or it's going to be kickstarting soon. That'll be a third one. And then they have these little like kind of like smaller type campaigns that link the games. So what you'll be able to do is once the third game comes out, you will be able to play Nemesis full completion. So you start on the ship that gets infested with aliens, do shit there, and then things happen. And so now you're on the Martian facility and it's like the movie Dune and all hell breaks loose and shit happens there. And then some more shit happens, and then the third game happens. It's one like cohesive story that you'll be able to play as a campaign, and it's really awesome. Like I said, it is a little bit more on the difficult side, but it's worth it. It's super fun. Darth,
so
go
the
ahead.
Question is it going to be called Nemesis Cubed?
It is not going to be called Nemesis Cubed. I forget the name of it, but I can look it up right now. We also played Wormspan, which is a new game. It's based off Wingspan, which a lot of people know what Wingspan is. It's the bird game. It's a beautiful game. It's fun to play.
It's very good.
It's not frustrating. Like it's a game you can play and just fucking relax. And so they made a follow-up, which is called Wormspan. Same concept, only dragons instead of birds. And I actually liked it better than Wingspan. I think it plays a little better, less convolution. So I ended up actually liking that game better.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, Kelly just said Outsmarted is a good recommendation for our family game. You can adjust questions based on age. Claudia plays with us, and it's fun watching her own Bob and trivia. Wow.
Text me that, Kelly, because I'll never remember that. And then the last one that I wanted to actually show off is a game I'm obsessed with. I'm not being paid for any of these, but since we're catching up, it's something I'm interested in. Darth, I've been talking to you about this. So this is Tamashi. This game is freaking awesome. This is a cyberpunk game from Awakened Realms. They make some of the best board games ever. Top quality, top shelf, 100%. I know it's kind of hard to see. I'm trying to see if you can see that there. So basically what you do is those tiles in the middle is the city, and you run around and you got to complete missions, and there will be AI robots chasing you just like in cyberpunk stories, and you have to fight them off. If your body gets damaged, you can go into the internet and find a different body to kind of jack into. It has this whole hacking thing to it where if you've played the BioShock games, or if you played Cyberpunk 2077, you're familiar with the different mini games of hacking that they have. That is a big component of this game. It's how you get upgrades and launch attacks and stuff. Really awesome, super fun game. I've been learning it. I've been begging Darth to play it. So I highly recommend anybody who likes video or board games, and especially if you like cyberpunk themed stuff, check that game out. Reasonably priced. It's great. Again, I'm not paid for this. I just love it, and I'm gushing about it because I think more people should play it. It's a great game. So, yeah, that's really what I've been doing. Dad stuff and playing some board games when I can.
Nice. Yeah, no, I think that, like I said, I've been trying to find stuff that I can do because it seems relaxing. It just seems kind of relaxing and just kind of like allows you to just turn everything off.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jesse, like I told you, for you and your wife, when we set up our game night, we are definitely going to play Arkham Horror because I know you guys are going to love that with all the Lovecraftian stuff. It's really sweet. So I think you'll like it.
Well, I'm down, man. I am totally down. Now, actually, so why don't we get right into? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys what I've been up to. So I forgot to do that.
You already did that at the beginning.
Yeah, kind of did, right? Yeah. That was okay. No, yeah, like I said, been on the road doing shows and stuff like that. I have a show in Michigan this Thursday, a ham trek. It's like ham track with an M in the middle of the word track as well. It's like Hamtramck, but it should be a lot of fun. I got a lot of shows that are coming up, so stay tuned for that. Also, update with the comedy special. We're almost done editing it. It looks beautiful, and we're doing it James Whale style, so it's going to be in black and white. So I'm really excited about that. So stay tuned
like the
for
black
that.
and white.
Yeah, I wanted to do something. Well, Bill Burr's one special is in black and white, and it's one of my favorites. And I'm just like, I kind of want to do that. So, yeah. Speaking of films in black and white and stuff are great, let's talk about the Oscars. The Oscar is this weekend. Now, real quickly, with the Oscars, I know what you're thinking. This won't be a pretentious talk. This is just kind of like discussing, like, you know, there are movies that are good that we like that have won Oscars. And I want to talk about, like, you know, the Venn diagram. I want to talk about the films that are Oscar winners, but films that we enjoy, films that we liked. You know what I mean? Like, so, like that, because that's, I think, what it makes the Oscars worth something. Like, you know, seeing movies like The Departed. Like, have you guys seen The Departed?
Of course.
Yes.
Whoa, Darth. You
Really?
haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you should probably watch that, man. There's some excellent performances in that film.
But like,
Jack Nicholson's great.
But like when you watch that movie, that's a movie you could tell your guy friends like, "Hey, come on over, we're gonna watch The Departed," and that's like, "Oh, that sounds like a good time." It's not like, "Hey guys, we're gonna watch The Phantom Thread." It's like, what? What are we doing? No, we're not doing that right now. You know. So I mean, that we got Kelly, who's a fan of that movie. It's a great movie. Fucking love that movie. Jack Nicholson is at his most unhinged in that movie in the best ways.
I just want to interrupt for a second because what you just said, like, I don't think so. Like, Darth doesn't get that because he hasn't seen the movie. People who have get that because he's so unhinged, but he's like the most calm.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's so great, and like the shit that he says and what he does, but he's like joking and laughing about it when he's doing it. Like, it's so Darth. Watch.
It's like his Joker. It's like his Joker became a jazz lounge singer.
Like, it's just absurd. Like, you'll be sitting there and he'll be like murdering somebody, but it'll be like a big joke, and you're just like, this is fantastic.
There's apparently a scene in that movie they had to cut down because it was too much.
Well, that was
improvising.
That was the one that Matt Damon was talking about.
Yes.
Where
we can tell Darth this because it has nothing to do with the plot.
Yeah, well, we're not going to.
Guys, you can spoil the hell out of the movie. I'm probably not going to watch it.
But it's a scene that they allowed Jack to be Jack, and there was this scene that was just like this much words on the paper, right? So this is like one scene, right? This is 10 seconds of dialogue, and he stretched it to like a 3-page scene. And it was like beautiful. And so then Marty was able to take that and cut it up and put what he wanted into the film. So if you're curious on what that is, there is a great Matt Damon kind of story where he tells it. He tells the story beautifully, but it's a fantastic story. It's just like, that's why he's a great actor right there. That story is why Jack Nicholson is a great actor. So
I love how beloved Jack Nicholson is to the point where the media will keep an eye on Lakers games. I remember that short period of time where they weren't seeing him, and they were like, "Is Jack okay? Is Jack okay?" And then he started showing back up, and they're like, "All right, he's okay. He's all right." I love that. That's our baseline pulse for checking on Jack Nicholson.
He's the Taylor Swift of basketball games.
He is. He is. He actually is. Oh my God.
We got to show Crazy Jack for at least 15 seconds, 3 times during this game.
If anybody bitches about Taylor Swift and they don't bitch about Jack Nicholson, then
there you go.
You're the problem.
So the question is, which Laker is Jack Nicholson dating?
That's a good question. We won't know. It's a secret. Jack Nicholson's very elusive. He doesn't give too many details, but he gives enough to unravel the mystery. I think that's what it is. But anyway, so let's talk about some of the Oscars. So I just want to get a baseline to see what Oscar movies you've seen. I pulled up a list from the best pictures of 2000 and 2009, and I want to see how many of these have you seen. And because like some of them I feel were very kind of baseline. Like, so the first one in the year 2000 was American Beauty. Has anybody seen that?
All right, that's in my top 10, man. That is a phenomenal film. Holy shit! Like it's one of my tops.
a little bit future telling, a little bit.
Right, I was going to say it's a little close to not close to home, but speaks to the truth.
It is, but we're separating the art from the
With
person.
art, yes.
There were thousands of other people that were involved bringing that production to the high quality film that it was. So we're not going to let one person tarnish that, because it is a beautiful.
It's a beautiful film. I love getting
so
like
close
this is how
to being a
I'm gonna die.
perfect film. So close, but it's not perfect. But it's close. It's so close.
All right, here's the next one. 2001 Gladiator.
Yeah. Saw that in the theater opening night.
There you go. 2002 Beautiful Mind. I'll admit I haven't seen this, but I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Darth, you haven't seen that either?
Nope.
Oh my God! So again, this is another good one. You know, it's Russell Crowe when he was younger, and you get those younger Russell Crowe, performances, and I like the story, and I like what they do with it. Again, this movie's 2 years old, but I don't want to spoil it for Darth because I actually want him to watch it. Ed Harris is in it, does a phenomenal job. I highly recommend watching it because, again, it is a beautiful story, so it's not just a clever name. It really is. It's good. It really is a beautiful film.
Next movie on the list is Chicago.
Yeah.
I like Chicago.
I don't do musicals.
It's okay. It's all right. You could. For me, I like it because it has the old. Well, here's the thing. I love this because there's a guy named Bob Fosse, who was like pretty much just the fucking pussy hound of fucking Broadway. Like this guy would cheat on his mistresses. Like that's the type of dude he was. And like he made this, and like he also made the movie that with Dustin Hoffman, Lenny, and all that stuff. So I'm a big fan of Bob Fosse. This is a really good movie. I enjoyed it. The whole play is about glamorizing murderers so that they can become celebrities, which kind of is an issue today. So it's not something too far off. All right, so let's go to the next one. The next one we can all agree with. Return of the King.
So I absolutely have something to say about this.
Okay, bring it on. What do you got? Return of the King. What's your beef?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Here's where John pisses everybody off.
This is it. This is where it happens now.
It's just hard for me to. I hate awards because they do this to me. I think awards are bullshit. It doesn't matter how objective your voting pool is. They're stupid because at the end of the day, it's someone's an opinion for a nomination. They say somebody else says yes, and then people are presented with finite options to vote for. The Academy Award is better than some of the other ones, but it's only as good as the people who are employed by the Academy. So if the Academy only has a certain type of person employed, then those are the movies and people they're going to win every year. So it's just ridiculous. And then most award shows now are just crowdfunded. It's 14-year-old kids voting for best movie. Like, it's just absurd.
Now, to stay on track, what is it about this movie in particular?
Well, to me, it's like, look, I'm not saying a fantasy film cannot be quality. I'm not saying a comic book film can't be quality. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But there are, like, it's hard for me to do this because I want to advocate for the films I'm about to say, because most of the Academy films are those artsy films, the one that most people don't see.
Exactly.
Thing like the fish out of water, or the Shape of Water. You fuck the fish person, so you win an Oscar. Awesome. Adrian Brody did it 10 years before and didn't win shit. So, like, yeah, if you haven't seen Splice, watch it.
The facts are there. The facts are there.
You know, I like to see non-artsy or just a movie that wins an award that I'll never see, I do like to see them win, okay? But it's a double-edged sword for me because at the same time, I'm just like, but was this like Oscar worthy? Like, yes, Lord of the Rings looked good. Yes, they were good. Yes, they were based on these books, but is that an Oscar film? You took a book
I would
and
say it is.
somebody already wrote,
I would
and then
say
you
it is
adapted
also.
it to a movie, and you're like, hey, this is going to win an Oscar. I don't know. It's like I said, I go both ways. So the things that I'm saying now, I'll also argue myself at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's really weird trying to
It
have this
didn't win
conversation.
best screenplay. It won best movie. Who cares where
But
it came from?
Darth, there's only 2 Academy Awards anybody cares about, and that's Best Picture and Best Actor. That's it. That's all people care about. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. So in 2004, there was a beautiful film that should have fucking won, and its
Which
actor
is?
should have fucking won, and it didn't. And that's The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio, because he should have won an Oscar for that fucking movie, not like 15 years later for The Revenant, which
I
was
think you should have got it for
movie.
Django, but that's just my opinion.
So,
Django
hold on,
even.
hold on.
Like,
So
what the fuck?
you're blaming Lord of the Rings for Leo not winning best actor?
And Aviator not being Best Picture.
That
Aviator is
doesn't-
also on my top 10.
See, I never saw Aviator.
See, so you don't know. Look at all these
No.
movies that you don't know that are beautiful films, Darth.
Yeah, but I saw Lord of the Rings, Return of the King,
Sure.
and that movie deserved it.
Oh, that
Well,
movie.
but you
That movie
haven't
was
seen-
phenomenal.
like
You
so-
bow to no one. When he says that to Frodo, my heart collapsed.
okay, but look at the
Oh.
other film. This is what I'm talking about with there's still subjectivity in these, okay?
I
Because
know.
I have seen Master and Commander. That's not an Oscar worthy film. I'm sorry. I have seen Mystic River. That is not an Oscar film. Lost in Translation absolutely was. Seabiscuit absolutely was.
Did
The
Mystic
Aviator
River
absolutely
win
was.
Best Picture?
What?
Did Mystic Picture win Best Picture?
No, I'm saying these are the nominees for 2004.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's what I'm saying is that to become a nominee, there's not an objective process to it. It's just whatever gets recommended. So for example, we all know who Milli Vanilli is, right? And the whole Milli Vanilli didn't sing, you know. And the thing is that Milli Vanilli won that Grammy in 1991. Okay. How the fuck did a breakout band like that get nominated for a Grammy for something like that and win? It's insane. And the whole thing is because the Grammys are just recommendations. So anybody, any manager,
yeah.
listen, any manager can email the
Mhm.
Grammys, the CEO guy of the Grammys, and say, I would like my artist, John Jacobs, to be nominated for a Grammy this year for Best New Artist.
And
if that guy says yes, guess who's on the nominee list, right? So, like, that's what I'm saying is that all of this is still subjective. There are awards that are more objective, but there is no award that is objective. Everything is subjective, and
I agree.
that's my overall problem. It's all subjective.
I agree.
You're trying to put standards on art. That's what it is. And you're trying to say one art is better than the other, but you're using subjective measurements for that because it comes down to opinion. Sure, there's objective things in there like quality cinematography, you know, quality line delivery, quality makeup. Like I get that. But at the end of the day, it's your opinion that Master and Commander was a nominee film and The Aviator wasn't. I'm sorry, it's bullshit. So that's my beef with award shows across the board.
Well, we're going to be talking a little bit more about that because we are going to talk about snubs, films that lost, and then all films and actors have lost, but as well as weren't nominated, because that will be a topic we will talk about. So stay tuned on that, John. And George's right.
Sorry, that was a little bit of a rant, but I just want to get that out there. Like, it's...
Oh, yeah, and we will talk about that. We will talk about that. That is something that is on the dais for right now. But for right now, I mean, this Lord of the Rings we've seen. $1 Million Baby. This, unfortunately, is a gap for me. I have not seen it.
Nope, neither have I.
I want
What
to see
the
it.
fuck is your guys' problems? How are you not seeing these?
I
Jeff,
do
realize
want to
it's
see it.
intense,
This is
I
the
mean-
one Morgan Freeman got the best supporting actor. I want to see this one. And did Hilary Swank? I think Hilary Swank got one.
I mean,
But look at her. She went from a karate kid to a boxer. Okay.
And the neck break is done well. So
Okay. All right. Let's say there you go. So I do want to see this. This is definitely a movie I want to see on my list.
oh my god, I can't believe Darth is not seen
I've
it.
sadly
I don't like boxing movies. It's like I don't like gangster movies
It's
either.
more than a boxing movie. Like
But
it's
it
not
is.
just the boxing. There's a story there, Darth, and it's fucking
Yeah.
beautiful, man.
God damn
It will make you cry, and it's like that's a good thing, man.
All right. Have you guys seen Crash?
Yeah, I didn't
once.
really care for it.
It was. I don't think it was an Oscar winner movie at all. I thought it was just kind of meh. Like, but yeah, but it counts. I've seen it. Then here's The Departed, the GOAT movie.
Darth, you really got to. Darth. Just it's again. It's not about the gangsters. It's about the characters.
Oh, okay. In that case, no, I'm still not going to go see it.
Wait. Can I give a synopsis of this movie? Because I don't define this movie as a gangster film. I really don't.
Okay, let's hear. Because
I really
I probably agree with you, Jesse.
I really don't. This is about. Okay, this is about
family. And...
No. The cops cherry picked somebody out of police academy that they made like kind of this deep undercover to get involved with this gang, and at the same time, that same gang has somebody that became a cop, and they each have to find each other. Like it's basically the mole has to find the other mole before the other one does.
Hold on. So are you saying this movie you're trying to find Matt Damon?
So yes, Leo DiCaprio is looking for Matt Damon, but he doesn't know it's Matt Damon.
I'm tired of movies where I'm looking for Matt Damon. I'm out.
Leo DiCaprio.
Every movie, man. Every movie we're looking for Matt Damon, dude.
Looking for Matt Damon. This is the start of it. This was the trendsetter. Okay, so this movie crawled so Interstellar can walk. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay,
I don't know if I'd use that comparison.
Well, I will. I did it just now. That's what I did. Next movie, No Country for Old Men. I love this film. This film is a banger.
I think that's one of Vance's favorites too.
It's a Coen Brothers film. It's just a good film. Like it's one of these movies where if you came over, John, or you came over, Vance, I'll be like, we can watch this. This isn't like an artsy fartsy film where if I put it on, you guys are like, all right, well, that was the last time I'm coming over here. Yeah, I'm not just putting on a random movie. This is a cool movie. I really enjoyed. Slumdog Millionaire, did not see this, and the only reason why I have not seen it is because that was the year I wanted The Dark Knight to be nominated for an Oscar, and I get it. Maybe that's a little bit too much. I'm a Batman fan. Joker, Heath Ledger got his Oscar, so for me, I was just like, and in my opinion, I think Dark Knight was the dominant movie of that year. I'm sorry, it was.
Hey Jesse,
yes.
Can you put up Jordan's comment real quick?
I think he should. I totally agree with Jordan. Jordan, get that GoFundMe page going. All right, we'll do it.
Jordan, hire me on as a consultant so I can help with that.
All right, but that's all the movies we're just going to do for right now because we can go on forever. But I just wanted to pull out that decade because I felt like there was a good run of movies where I was like, you saw the best picture and you're like, yeah, that was a best picture. That was a good movie. It's not like nowadays where it's like a best picture wins and you're like, the fuck is this? I've never seen this movie before. Like, yeah, but
or like
here's
a foreign film wins and you're just like, really?
Well, if a foreign film was to win this year, it would be Godzilla -1. Hands down, no debate. Probably the best example of balancing the human drama with the monster drama. Like,
I still need to see it.
Perfect. Just me, I loved it. It was a great film. And I don't want to give anything away about it. Don't watch any trailers. Don't do anything. That movie, I didn't watch a trailer for that movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it better. I'm so glad I did. So, but that for me was a snub for this Oscar.
And you're not really like a tokusatsu kind of guy, Jesse. So the fact that you liked that Godzilla is
cried.
I like that.
Twice. I saw it twice in theaters, cried both times in theaters. It's such a good. I think this is a big snub. This was a huge snub this year at the Oscars. To say that it was just a special effects movie was bullshit The actors moved me to tears every single time they were on screen. It was I don't want to talk about this movie, but I feel like they took Godzilla back to its roots in the 19 what was it
1958, I think. Hold on.
I think it was 54. I think it was like 10 years after 55.
Oh, you're right. 54.
54.
54.
Yeah, it was like 10 years after, and after World War II, and like it captures that perfectly. I feel like all the other Godzilla movies started going off a little bit, and this one kind of brought it back. It brought it back to its roots, to the point where I think this Godzilla movie truly ruined the American Godzilla movies now. Like the Godzilla Kong movie, the new one's coming out, I have no interest in seeing it anymore. None at all. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I want to watch. I want because they actually forced Toho to not do another movie until this one came out. Like they made them hold on to this movie for 7 years.
Toho? Do you mean Toei?
Toei, sorry. I'm not, like you said, I'm a pedestrian to these movies, all right? But I love them.
Darth, before I say anything, have you seen Son of Godzilla yet?
No.
Then that's what we should do. Like, well, we already have Superman 3 watch party. Now we have to have
Godzilla
or watch party because yeah, I still haven't seen it yet. I need to see it. Now, Darth, I don't remember, like, are you like, I'm a huge Tokusatsu nerd, but are you that into it? I can't remember, honestly.
Not really, but I always enjoy watching a good movie.
Sure. Or like, do you at least like the kaiju stuff, like the big monster stuff versus like Sentai or Masked Rider or stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you might also like Shin Godzilla. So they've got a couple of these films. They have Shin Godzilla. They got Shin Kamen Rider. And they are just kind of like, they also have a Shin Ultraman, which was really good. They're just kind of like one-off stories. So it's the IP, it's the story that characters but it's a one-off. It's not a canon film, okay? And the Shin Kamen Rider was kind of like a decades later sequel from the Kamen Rider Ichigo series back in the mid-70s. And it was beautiful. Shin Godzilla was beautiful. Shin Ultraman was beautiful. So if you haven't seen this Godzilla -1, I would actually recommend watching Shin Godzilla because all the stuff I've seen from this, I got Shin Godzilla vibes. So maybe watch that first, and then we can.
I'll say the two films are pretty different.
They are? They are?
Very different. Shin Godzilla and this movie are, I say, that, like Shin Godzilla, if I remember correctly, that's the one where it's like very bureaucratic and all that stuff. So yeah, no, it's not.
They tried to ground it more. Like, so
this one's grounded. They ground this one pretty well, but they don't. The difference is that I feel like Shin Godzilla was the bureaucracy of the government and failing to act in appropriate measures.
I would agree to that.
And this Godzilla -1 is more about the people and the guilt of the war and what they're going through and the distrust towards their government because they have to depend on themselves. But it's a very human drama. It's a very human drama that I think transcends of the foreign film aspect to being just a film.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, I don't want to give away anything about this movie because I think the guy who wrote this movie, he wrote his ass off. He wrote his ass off, directed his ass off. He made, in my opinion, I will say, the best Godzilla movie since the original, in my opinion.
You mean the Matthew Broderick movie?
No,
yes.
Darth trolling now.
Exactly that one, actually.
You didn't like all the Velociraptor babies.
Listen, you guys didn't like that one? You guys didn't like that one? I love that one.
I love that one. That one was great. Had a great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. The helicopters
was good, dude. The soundtrack was good. I will
say.
It
was actually, yeah.
It really
the helicopter scene.
The movie was terrible.
Dude, I remember I watched.
The soundtrack was good.
Dude, Sarah watched that movie the first time this year. You remember that scene where Don Corleone is like, look at my boy, they massacred him. She was so depressed.
Oh my God.
You didn't watch the rest of it. She's like, just shut this shit off, please. I'm done. I'm done.
Bringing this all back around to Jesse advocating for a Godzilla film to win an Oscar, I mean, fine, but again, that's just kind of how I feel with Lord of the Rings. I'm not voting on Oscars, so it doesn't matter what I think, but it would just be strange to hear Best Picture Godzilla -1. I'm not saying I wouldn't support it, but it's just strange.
It is strange. Oh, no. It is strange. There is no doubt in the world it's strange. But when you see the performances that are given by these actors,
no doubt about that.
Because here's the thing: the one thing I disliked about Godzilla in 2014 was I felt like there was too much human shit. I didn't give a shit about the human shit. It bored me.
This was the point that I was going to make earlier: is that we're done with the Jet Jaguar. Okay, like we're done with that. Okay, so we're not doing that anymore in Godzilla. So what's there left to do? Fight monsters. Okay, cool. But again, we already did that with Pacific Rim. So what's there left to do? Maybe we can ground it this time and see what happens. Cool. So like that's what they've been doing, and I dig that. I think we all dig that, right? Like I mean, but look, if they made a Godzilla movie tomorrow and it was fucking campy as shit and it was a lower budget special effect and it was like Showa era shit, I would watch the hell out of that.
Who wouldn't?
I would love it. But that's because I like that stuff, right? But I think the new stuff is bringing in new fans, which is the entire purpose. It deserves all the praise that it gets, and I'm excited to see the new Godzilla -1. Darth, you and I should both watch that together.
Now, real quickly, what are some movies or performances that you've seen over the years that you felt like when you saw it, you're like, this guy should get an Oscar. He's probably not going to get one. Like or maybe a movie you saw that blew you away and should have got an Oscar, but it didn't.
Go ahead, Darth.
Barbie.
Well, that's
okay.
That's what you see. But yeah, it did get a snub for the director and the actress.
So why do you think that is? Because I find that's interesting. So I saw Barbie in the theater. I took my wife and daughter. I enjoyed it. Like I laughed. I thought it was good.
Real quick, can I just say one thing about it? It was the best comedy of the year, and it's the only comedy to ever hit $1 billion. Ever.
Really?
I'm not talking about action comedies. I'm not talking about Deadpool, which comes in second and third. I'm not talking about an action comedy. I'm talking a straight up witty fucking comedy. It's the only one to ever hit $1 billion. That is a major.
And to do that going up against Oppenheimer,
right?
So to me, Barbie, in my opinion, is an anomaly in itself because it should not have done what
Oscar-worthy film. I liked it. Yes. I thought it was good, but is it like? And when we say yes, like, what are we holding that to? Because again,
I'm holding it to.
No, listen. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that my wife and daughter enjoyed it. But I don't think it's an Oscar-worthy film because there wasn't anything. And you see, this is where it gets subjective because there wasn't anything for me that said, wow, that was a risk that paid off, or wow, that was a really difficult performance, or hey, that was really hard, like era in time, and you captured that beautifully, or like whatever. Like it was a well-written, witty, meta comedy, and I enjoyed it, but there wasn't anything Oscar about it for me. Although the Ken song could win maybe best song in a musical or something because it was a great song. But I just didn't think the film was an Oscar film, even though I very much enjoyed it.
I think we're also just unfamiliar with seeing an actual comedy compared to the Oscars.
What do you think about that, Darth?
What? Your opinion's wrong?
No, the fact that we saw a comedy achieve success of that magnitude. Yeah. Like we weren't ready for that.
That should tell you how good of a movie that was.
Yeah.
I didn't say it wasn't good. I'm saying I really liked it.
You're also saying there was nothing Oscar-worthy about it.
Let me restructure.
Look, Oscar is the pedestal. Okay, so there's got to be something on the pedestal. Was it Kate McKinnon? She was funny, but was it Oscar pedestal? I don't know. Like,
I think a lot of the performance that Margot Robbie gave was very moving. Like with Danny DeVito's ex-wife, I can't remember her name at the top of my head.
oh yeah. I
Or
totally
when she says to an old
yeah.
woman, "You're beautiful," or when she's crying, she's having a moment of, am I real? Am I a real person?" I think the movie a lot is very satirical. It's very satirical.
absolutely.
Like the fact that in the first 5 minutes of the movie they had a Citizens United joke. What I was the only one who laughed in theaters.
I can
get
totally
that
see
joke.
that too. I can totally see that.
I get that joke. No one got they're like, oh, we should never let big corporations get into elections. Yeah, that would be destruction. And then it's like so simple for them. I cackled so goddamn hard, and I was like, this movie is just intelligent beyond. Rita Perlman, thank you, Rita Perlman. That's who.
But I do have to say, Jesse,
and actually, it's Rhea, not Rita.
Rita.
Oh,
thank you. Yeah. Anyways.
Jesse, you laugh though. Like I laugh loud. I'm a loud person. Everybody who knows me in real life knows that.
What?
I laugh really loud. Darth, you know I have an obnoxious laugh, especially in an auditorium. So it's the laugh, man.
Yeah, I think this movie, it was very satirical, and what's very ironic is the fact that the director and Margot Robbie weren't nominated. I kind of feel like is the point of what the movie was trying to do a little bit.
Do you think that implies intention though? And like I don't want to
No.
I don't want to get into like the
movie was presenting a problem, and because they didn't get nominated for the Oscar, it just made them way more correct in their assumption.
I mean, I could get behind that.
Unintentional irony.
Unintentional irony.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Unintentional irony. Okay.
Like the fact that like the Ken song got nominated, and I think there was one award show where the Ken song won, but the Billie Eilish song lost, and even Ryan Gosling was confused because he's like, that one should have won. Actually, that one was like really more emotional. It was for that type of. But it's like they're missing the point of what the movie was about, which happens, which totally happens. There are times where I think a lot of people miss the point of a movie. I mean, look at Fight Club. It's sadly people are coming around in the last 10 years going, wait, Brad Pitt was wrong? Like, I mean that. And some people are like, wait, Walter White was the asshole in that situation? Like people are coming around now because they, like how many times have you seen the meme with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker smoking a cigarette and it had some like weird motivational shit in the front of it? Or, it's like you're missing the point. This is a villain. This is not a good guy. But it's always saying something like, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. And it's like, wait, what the fuck is this? This is dumb. You know what I mean? So I think this had that irony that Darth was talking about.
Yeah. I like that term you came up with, Darth. That was good. I like that.
Dramatic irony. It's been around forever, though.
Oh, I never heard of it till today. So thank you, Darth.
I will take credit for it.
Take credit for it. That's all you do. That's what you got to do. But anyways, I felt like, that's a great example of a movie that I feel got snubbed because here's the thing. I like to see any director try to make a comedy to hit $1 billion. I think.
Yeah, I mean it
hasn't been done. I think the last comedy to come that close was I think it was Ted, and that was in 2012, if I remember correctly. So it's been almost 12 years since a comedy was able to achieve something to that nature.
Yeah. So let's see here. Deadpool 2 and then Deadpool 3 and 4 and then Hi Mom. I've never heard of this. It's at number 2. It's a 2021 Chinese comedy film, and it was 841, so it's number 2 next to Barbie. Then you have Deadpool 2 and Deadpool. So
which again, not to knock Deadpool at all. It's a comic book movie, so it has that strength. But I mean, to be a total, because I mean, look at theaters. When's the last?
Oscars is on this list. It's 12. It's 12. It was okay, but 12.
They built it as the last movie. You got to keep in mind that came out during the time where, remember when everything was final with a trilogy? There was no fourth movie. There was never a fourth movie. It was just the trilogy, and then you're done. I mean, like between 2000 and 2009, that was the big thing, and then Marvel was like, nah, franchise. But hey, that's the way it is.
Scary Movie at the bottom, number 50, made the list. Nice.
Yeah.
That's also on one of my top lists. Love Scary Movie.
Yeah. But let me ask the people in the comments section, what's a movie that you feel was heavily snubbed? What was an actor, director, writer, whatever it was? What do you feel was heavily snubbed this Oscars to the point where it drove you nuts? It drove you insane.
Like, wait until next year for Madam Web.
Madam Web. Dude, I actually, no lie, I want to campaign for that movie to be nominated. I actually want to campaign it just
Someone's
to
going to do it. Watch. There will be something where someone's going to try to do it. You just watch. It'll happen.
Well, they did it so funny for Morbius. I remember the one time Morbius went back in theaters and it failed again. And then they put a protest out saying, Sony, put it back in movie theaters on Tuesday night. We were all busy this weekend. That's fucking hilarious.
Jared Leto.
Yeah. Scary Movie. What's that?
Oh, man.
But anyways, put your stubs down there.
Just looking at an article on Variety, and somebody has Saltburn on here as an Oscar. Get out.
Here's another good. Real quickly. So let's look at what movies were nominated this year. Let's see if we've seen any of them. Like, I chose the 2000 to 2009 range because I wanted to see, for that, I would say all of us collectively seen most of the movies. If not, maybe there was one we didn't all see.
Before you do anything, guys, I'm going to put in a nice little private chat on how many I think I have seen. Before even seeing any, I have no idea what's nominated, but I will tell you how many.
Okay.
And then once you go over, we will see how correct.
Okay, let me see. I want to see what your number. I'll look at your number afterwards. All right. So let's do this. I'm ready. I'm psyched for this.
I'm going to say Darth put 0.
Hold on. Okay. Where is Best Picture? Best Picture. Best Picture. Best Picture.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we're going to do Best Picture because we already did Best Picture just a second ago. So, okay, here are the movies that are Best Pictures. Barbie, which we did see. All of us saw.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Oppenheimer. We all saw that, so that's 2.
Nope.
I haven't watched it yet. I just haven't watched it yet. I'll get to it.
It's on Peacock. I'm looking forward to it. I just don't have 3 hours to kill right now.
It's pretty good. I really enjoyed that movie. And again, that movie made history because no biography film has ever hit that high in box office. So again, that's another movie that hit record. What?
Alien.
Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
The Zone of Interest. Didn't see that. Poor Things. I guess that's like a Frankenstein sex movie kind of deal. Like it's kind of a fantasy movie. Yeah, like it's they
That's
have
what
a
I'm
female
talking about with shit getting nominated. Okay, like what the hell, man? Nobody's heard of this movie.
Past Lives. Maestro, which Bradley Cooper plays a Jewish maestro, and for some reason was like, I need a prosthetic nose, which that goes very well. I love how they could just be like, you know what? Maybe no. Maybe don't do that. But that's just us. You know what I mean? Killers of the Flower Moon. I haven't seen that. The Holdover. Didn't see that. The Anatomy of the Fall. Have no clue what that's about. American Fiction. I do want to see that. That looks hilarious. It's about this black writer who writes very upscale stuff, but like it never hits very well. And he notices people of his caliber are writing stuff that's in a way very ghettoized. So he purposely writes like kind of a fuck you, makes up a character and writes an autobiography as that character. And it becomes a hit by accident. And he has to pretend to be that person to keep up with the appearances. And I was like, that's a funny story. That's a really, yeah. Let's see. Best romantic comedy this year, Sound of Freedom. Jesus.
There it is, Dan. Dan, thank you so much for showing up and blessing our comment section with the comment of the evening. Dan, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised nobody's been like, You cowards, nominate this. But yeah, no, a lot of these movies, like I said, I think, like as we opened up with the show, that Venn diagram, that whole like in the middle, what's an Oscar movie and then what's a popular movie, everything. We're not having this. I know we're doing this, and some sick of vagina, but no, we don't have enough movies that are in the vagina. They're outside of the vagina. We need movies that are back in the vagina, the Venn diagram. So that's my thoughts on this. Darth, let's look at your number. 0. Nah, you saw one.
I saw one.
You saw one. You're still cultured. We're still cultured. It's okay. It's all right. We're cultured still. All right. We got 2 more segments I want to go over. But first, let's open it with a trivia question. This is actually one segment. What 2 sequels have won Best Picture Oscars? We already talked about
Godfather Part 2.
What?
Godfather Part 2.
That's what I was going to say. We
literally talked about it. You guys are going to hit yourselves in the head.
Yeah, just tell us.
It wasn't the 2 Towers. What was it?
Close, so close.
Oh, sequel.
We're in Return of the King. Yes. Yes.
I was thinking like Part 2.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking like...
Because you're thinking Part 2. Yeah. I know what you mean, yeah. But there's a lot of other movies that have been nominated, but those are the only 2 sequels to ever win a Best Picture Oscar. Ever. And I think Godfather was the only one to ever win it like boom, boom, like that. So I think that's pretty cool. Awesome. Okay, so let's go over.
Yeah, because Lord of the Rings got snubbed.
What? Okay.
I said because Lord of the Rings got snubbed and only the 3rd movie got nominated.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, for me, I would have loved to see 2 Towers win. That was a pretty good movie. I mean, because it's always the second movie in a trilogy. It sometimes slumps, but it didn't. Not for me, at least. I mean, I loved it. But then again, I watched the extended version, so I don't know what the theatrical cuts look like. Because my uncle, he's like, I remember he was like, "You're not watching the theatrical cuts. You watch the full 6-hour long cuts."
Nice.
That's how you. The only time you ever see the theatrical cut is when you go to see it in theaters, and after that, the theatrical cut doesn't exist.
It's done.
It's done. The theatrical cut is a one-time watch in theaters, and after that, you get that little thick-ass book size DVD case. You unfold it.
Right.
30 discs. 30 fucking discs. And you're like, which disc is it? You know, like I remember like after the first line, like when they put together the Fellowship of the Rings, then one character's like, so where are we going? The DVD would cut and it's like, put in Part 2 now. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like that's how you know, man. That's the OGs. But anyways, let's talk about sequels that are better than the original film.
I've got one.
What's yours? What you got?
I've got a few.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yes, that
is the
also won 6 Academy Awards in 1992. So,
what made that a better movie? What made that better? I mean, we know.
Well, it was.
We highlight some stuff for us.
Yeah,
what made that better than T1?
We took the base and we made it better. We improved the visual effects. We improved the acting. We improved the storytelling. We improved the cinematography. We improved everything, and it was great.
You know what my favorite part about T2 is though? It's how in the beginning of the movie they don't tell you which one's good or even any of them.
I was just gonna say that the suspense of is Arnold a bad guy again, or is he a good guy? And you don't know. You just see him and you're like, oh shit, bad guy, and then he
get down, bam, and then you're like, he's the good guy.
To the point where they make the other guy a cop. Which I love, like how they how they were like they made James Cameron did everything to twist your brain to go good guy, bad guy, no debate. And then when it happens, you're like, oh shit, it crosses. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah. Totally agree.
So Terminator 2.
You had one?
Yeah, you have them?
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why does everybody shit on Temple of Doom? I mean,
I'm not shitting on Temple of Doom.
I don't hate Temple
of Doom is still a good movie.
It is.
Raiders or not Raiders, but The Last Crusade was 10 times better than all of the other Indiana Jones movies.
I think I agree with you. It's just hard to say it, but I think I do, because it is just that good. So,
you had Sean Connery. You had this.
yeah, yeah.
The comedy was up, and it didn't detract from the action.
Well, and they were good together. That's the whole thing. Yeah, that's what made it. If they didn't have that chemistry, it wouldn't have worked.
And don't discredit River Phoenix.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah.
That was that.
Yeah, I should have gotten the best supporting actor if Heath Ledger could win one. Why not River Phoenix?
Well, I don't know if that was a thing back in 19.
That wasn't part of it, and it wasn't due to the movie either.
Yeah, but I think literally, that added so much depth to the character. I like how like Harrison Ford, who has that scar on his chin, it was a nice little detail. They gave an origin to that scar for Indiana Jones. Like that movie was made with a lot of fucking love. Like the first two movies are great. I love them, but all the Indiana Jones movies, if you had to tell me which one had Grandma's kiss on it, like you're my favorite, it's that one for me, in my opinion. That was always Grandma's kiss. Here's the one that Dan Brown brings up, and I totally fucking agree with this one. The Clerks movies. I thought they got better and better each movie. And just because I was so emotionally attached to these characters, and I loved how it grew the characters. You know, and hey, each his own, to each his own.
I think Clerks 2 is highly overhyped and overrated. But Clerks 3, I fucking cry at that movie.
I did too, Justin. We did it. We saw it together. We both cried.
We wouldn't even look at each other. We wouldn't even look at each other.
I mean, we didn't. We
did not look at each other. I don't even think we talked about crying until the next day. We just kind of we shook hands like men and left.
We did. We straight up cried, man.
I don't think we talked to each other after the movie. We just looked at each other like,
see you tomorrow, man.
That was a good movie. Shake, fuck off. Then we text each other the next day. Did you cry?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did.
We needed to know that the other one wasn't a sociopath. That's all we just needed to know. But no, dude, that was, oh God. Yeah, these movies. Yeah. And like I said, I understand some people will have opinions of Clerks too. For me, I liked it.
I love Clerks too, but I still think the original one is the best.
I like the original. I think Clerks 3 is probably the best.
Yeah.
I mean, but it builds on. If you didn't watch 1 and 2,
yes,
you're completely and totally lost. You can get away with watching, Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's very interesting about this is that,
I agree.
Did you ever hear the theory about this is based off of the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri?
No.
So the trilogy of the Divine Comedy is Hell, Purgatory, and Heaven. So the first movie represents Dante's actual character of being in hell. The second one being in purgatory, which ends up with him being comfortable where he is. And the third one, well, kind of fucking literally on this one. And also the fact that he was supposed to die in the first movie, which they filmed that, and then they were like, don't do that. Which have you ever seen that scene? It's such a bleed.
No, I mean, Darth, you're good.
It's good. It's bleak. And basically, Kevin Smith shaved his beard, came in as a robber when Dante was closing up, shot him dead. That's it.
Oh God, yeah, don't.
So that's kind of the irony of Clerks 3 that he finally dies. So there's a lot of inside jokes with that.
But it's super fucking sad, man. Especially when Randall finally sacks up and he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm
oh
just
my God,
but I really love you, man." And you're like, "God damn it!"
When they show him watching the movie and they blur the line of watching the movie and your life flashing before your eyes. Holy shit. Yeah. That was fucking cinema for me. That was fucking cinema. And I got mad. People were like, I didn't get it. He's not watching his movie. I'm like, are you fucking dense? It's a symbol. It's a symbol of everything. Yeah. Fucking. Anyways, I love that movie. I fuck with that movie to the day I die.
And then one more sequel that's better than the original.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious 7.
Yeah, actually, 100% on that. I will say,
Yeah.
I think, you know what the funny part about that movie is? I mean, this is going to be the interesting thing. I think Fast and the Furious 7 destroyed the franchise because I think it peaked. And
Well,
then after,
no.
They should have just stopped. Like
They should have.
Fine.
I
don't
love the
think
Fast
they-
and Furious movies.
I
I
don't
love them
think
all.
I know. I do too.
But-
But it's
but
just like, why did
I
you
love
do
them all.
it?
Make sure this is clear. I love all of them like children, and I will take a bullet for each and every one of them. But 7 is the last crusade for me. That's the last crusade. That was
Sure.
like because I remember watching Fast 8, and I was like, it was good. I liked it, but it didn't
It didn't hit as close to home without Paul Walker.
Dude, it's crazy when you remove somebody. It's like that. It's like that season without Steve Carell on The Office, and you're like, "Fuck, that's how much he was a part of the show." Like you forget, like you don't think, but because it's an ensemble. But you're like, "Damn, it's a lot." Dan had another one, which we'll bring up real fast. Well, one is Batman versus Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. If you're high, Batman and Robin's really good. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're fucking stoned. It's the best unintentional comedy.
Here's the thing: Batman Forever at least somewhat still tried. They stopped trying. In Batman
They absolutely did. There's no doubt.
There was still some effort in Batman Forever.
The
the
cold opening is dope.
There was some effort. But
the cold opening's dope.
There was nothing on Batman and Robin. It was just like, let's just throw some shit together.
And then this one's a serious one. Dark Knight, Batman Begins. I agree.
I liked Batman Begins better.
Here's the thing. I will say this. This is my opinion on the movie. Dark Knight is the best Batman movie. Batman Begins is the best Batman movie about Batman. That's my opinion on the matter. Because if you ask me which movie I prefer, I like Batman Begins better just because it's a human story about Batman. It is a human story. Like that scene where he's in the elevator bawling his eyes out because he thinks he failed and he failed his parents' promise to protect Gotham. Oh my God, that rips my heart out every single time. I don't think Bale had the opportunity to do that in the next movie. I didn't feel this. No offense to Bale's performance. I think he great. But when Rachel died, I thought I was going to be crushed.
Yeah, I didn't care.
I was like, okay, that's sad, but
it's man. If it was Kate Holmes, I would have cared a lot more.
I think I would have cared a lot, and that probably hurt it.
That's a problem about casting.
Yeah,
yes,
and that's why it doesn't belong in the Oscar category.
There you go,
yes,
Darth.
there he is.
Bad casting.
There it is. Then we got Winter Soldier and Captain America. I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, Winter Soldiers, what is that, like, still the best? Have we agreed that's still the best, or does something above Winter Soldier?
Oh, no. For Captain America movies?
No. MCU, Darth. What's number
MCU?
one? MCU?
That's tough.
Okay.
We're gonna. This is a 60-second.
This is an episode on its own. I don't even think I don't want to.
Darth. Number one. Let's hear it.
Winter Soldier is still up there for me.
Yeah, I agree.
There's some Avenger movies out there that I think are a better movie for the storyline, but it's a different genre. I think Infinity War is so much better.
Okay. I was getting worried, but yeah, I mean, Infinity War.
I don't know, Age of Ultron. That was the best Marvel movie.
That was clearly
that and Eternals.
Exactly.
Hands down best.
Yeah.
But Winter Soldier is probably the best Captain America movie.
Yeah, and it's definitely like you said, Darth. It's, if you ask me on one day, I might say this is my top three. A different day, you'd be like, oh, this is my top three. So you're right. It's up there, and that's all we need to say. It's there. It's in the top.
If you catch me on an emotional day, I will say Guardians 2, because that movie did something for me on a profound level.
Kurt Russell made that movie, man.
And
I enjoyed it.
There was something about that movie that healed like childhood trauma pain I was carrying for many years. And after I walked out of the theater, I let go of it for once. So like some of these movies, it's so weird. It's so weird to rank them because they do a different thing for me. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. When I think this is when Marvel did it was at its best, because it felt like every movie was really different. Like this movie was deep state government. There's a secret shadow government of
It's an espionage movie.
Yeah, it did not feel like a superhero movie. It just felt like an espionage movie with the superhero shit involved. It didn't feel like I never watched that movie, and I never felt like da 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 da. The super friends are. I never felt that.
I don't know that when he was in the elevator, it was pretty cool, and it was
still one of the top 10 fight scenes in that.
Absolutely.
But anyways,
we should totally do top lists though on an episode, like do Marvel, DC, and like maybe other, and just like
we could do a phase revisit. Let's do a phase revisit. Let's do a phase.
I don't know. Oh God. Okay. Well,
we can do a phase revisit, maybe, or we could do maybe we'll do like a movie.
Yeah, let's do that because I'll advocate for Thor: Dark World not being as bad as everyone says it is. Yeah,
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, Darth.
But anyways, Zack Snyder's.
I would argue against it, but I don't remember anything about that movie.
Well, let's watch it again.
Zack Snyder's
Justice League is better than Batman versus Superman? No. Go on. Are we talking the Snyder cut that's 4 hours and 2 minutes long?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no.
Wait, we're saying that's better. We're saying that Justice League is better than Batman versus Superman?
Yes.
Batman versus Superman, I loved for.
How do we get on this for Oscar films? This is a totally different episode.
We're just talking about because we were talking about sequels that won Oscars and how sequels could transcend the original. But I'm going to say technically, the Zack Snyder movie is technically an Oscar-winning movie. Technically,
I'll just throw in with the Snyder cut and say, yeah, that's better.
Because last year they started the tradition of that award. What is the best Oscar moment or something in a movie or some?
Well, yeah, where what was it? The Flash breaks time or something like that, which was just a fucking joke.
I love it. I love how the Oscars. I could not take that fucking seriously. It was like, all right, we'll give you a little something. It's like that one scene from Friday where the woman gives Chris Tucker the money. Like, this ain't enough. Make it enough. Like, that's how I felt with that whole thing. But anyways, that's all the time we got tonight. I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in tonight. You guys are rock stars. Always a pleasure having you guys here back at the Grown Ups Table. Tune in next week. We have more talk here at the table. We'll catch up. We'll have more guests come on. And just like and share this. Make sure you keep sharing this episode. Get people to watch it. We want to have more people join here at the Grown Ups Table every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, man. So stay tuned. Darth, thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate you making some time for us. And like I said, tune in next week. Until then, I'm Jesse.
I'm John.
You've been sitting at the Grown Ups Table. Thank you, and have an awesome night, everybody. Take care, everyone.